What is up, guys? In this video I will show you how to get the Descendant Freyna by collecting her research material to unlock her in-game, and also we'll show you how her abilities work after unlocking. So if that sounds interesting, let's get right into it. So you will need 4 items to be able to research her, and you do need to have access to the Vespers region. If you don't, you have to continue the story a bit more until you reach the required areas. The first item you can get is Freyna's Code, located in the Sterile Land in the Rockfall area on the left. This is where you need to complete Rockfall's Vulgus strategic outpost to get the amorphous material pattern for Freyna's Code. For this outpost, you can deactivate the security panels located around the area to increase the time limit a bit, but you don't have to locate all of them. It only increases the time limit, or they are even already deactivated by other players, so you can then destroy the tree objective within the outpost and take down the elite. After that, this will make the material pattern drop. This has a 100% drop rate, so you don't have to do this again. After this, you need to do the Void mission in the same area and defeat the elites, but you will need 12 monomer Void shards and 3 polymer Void shards to activate it. These can easily be found in the Void fragment mission nearby, also in the same area, and this will drop 4 monomer shards and 1 polymer shard. If you are using a Descendant with an electric attribute, which is probably Bunny when you first start playing. After doing this at least 3 times or until you get the required shards, go to the Void Fusion Reactor and activate it. Here you have to defeat the Elite Tracker and Vanguard. By doing so, you can then shape your material pattern to get Freyna's Code. So for the other 3 materials, you have to go to the Vespers region and do some missions to make them drop. To get the Spiral Catalyst, you need to go to the Ruins area in the Vespers and complete the Ruins Underground Entrance battle mission for it to drop. It has a 20% drop chance, so you might need to do a couple of repeats. So there is a quick way to restart missions and even dungeons. When you go to the Mission Result tab after mission, you can see an options down below to restart the mission. And when you activate it and the countdown is over, you will start the mission over without needing to teleport back and forth. I didn't know about this at the time, but it can help farming faster. To get the stabilizer, you need to go to the Ruins Path battle mission located in the Lumberyard area, where you need to follow a drone and defend it. After that, you can get it to drop with a 20% drop chance. I did have to do this one like 20 times. But it did drop eventually. For the final item, the Enhanced Cells, you will be needing to go to the Shelter Dungeon in the Timberfall area, and again, if you complete the dungeon, it has a 20% chance to drop, and if you did get it dropped, you now have all the items, so you can go to the research station and research Freyna. And then you have to wait for 16 hours to get it unlocked. These are not in-game hours, by the way, so you can play her the next day or use money, but I won't recommend using it on that. Rather maybe on skins or the battle pass. They give way more value. Once the research is complete, go back to the research station and then you can play as Freyna. She will be level 1 once you have unlocked her, so you have to level her up a little bit. You can do the lower level region operations. They can give you some good XP to level up her quickly at the start, so you don't die as fast. You can still use your high level weapons and cores, but your defenses are pretty low at lower level. So guys, let's have a look at her abilities. Her first ability is going to be Venom Trauma. This will fire a toxic bullet, dealing damage to enemies hit, and a toxic bullet will explode, and this will create a toxic puddle on the ground, and this will inflict Rumo Trauma on those that hit it. The Rumo Trauma will deal damage over time, and it will inflict poison to nearby enemies, and the poison will deal more damage over time and will also take longer. The second ability is Defense Mechanism. This will grant you a Plague Body Armor that will increase your defense for a short duration, and it will inflict Rumo Trauma on the enemies that will hit you with melee. and they will also then inflict poison to nearby targets. Her third ability is Putrid Venom. This will throw poison on the ground and this will create a toxic swamp. Enemies that touch the toxic swamp take continuously damage and are afflicted with poison and venom soaked. Enemies with venom soaked leave toxic footprints as they move, and enemies that touch these footprints are poisoned. The fourth ability is going to be Venom Baptism. Here you will summon a unique weapon. It is more like an assault rifle. You will have a limited amount of rounds in it, and if the rounds are empty, then it will vanish or the duration is over. And if you hit enemies with it, it will give them the Rumo Trauma, so they will take damage over time, and enemies near them will get poisoned, dealing more damage over time. Right, her passive skill is increasing toxic skill power by the number of nearby enemies inflicted with poison. So this can stack up to 15 times, and the increased power is 1.2% multiplied by the stacks. So let's talk about a little bit about her reactor here, because 3 of her skills are tech skills. So if you have the reactor with the boost ratio for tech skills and also toxic skills, because her all the abilities are toxic, you will deal overall more damage with them. And let's see, you can also have the other one. It was dimensional skill. It's C. I would say that her C ability is the lesser one you should probably prioritize, because you will just get defense, and only enemies get poisoned when they hit you. And I gotta say, you want to avoid getting hit. The damage or the defense is nice when you get hit by ranged targets, but you obviously don't want to get hit by melee. But if it happens, they will get poisoned, but I would say that's not what you want. So if having a reactor like this is much better toxic skill boost, and tech skills will give you the most benefit out of it. For skills, you can also have other modules. Toxic skills, like you have more scale power, and also maybe some weapon modules can also be nice when here, like when defeating an enemy inflicted with poison, inflict poison on other enemies within 3 meters of the target for 5 seconds. So this is also nice to even rank up those stacks. So let's see how it actually goes into play. I'm gonna go to a void fragment. You can see you need toxic here to get the fragment thing going, and also gain the void shards from it to give you a view on how to use these abilities. So obviously I used the first ability. It's just gonna be like a small rocket, right? And if you hit enemies with it, they're gonna be like poisoned. You can see here they're like dying because of poison now. And also, let's use the third ability here, like putting the pool on the ground. This pool is going to be very long, and if they stay in it, they take a lot of damage. So if you have a target where just stand still, or a lot of targets that are just running at you, that's the best way to use these abilities. Or this ability, I mean. Because they also will leave the footprints, and when enemies like hit those footprints, they're going to be poisoned. If they're poisoned, you get more stacks, and if you get more stacks, you will deal more damage with your abilities. We're gonna use second ability. So here we get a little bit armor boost. Obviously, you don't really want to get hit, but if you do get hit, they can do a lot of like poison damage to targets around them. Let's get these guys off. Right, let's. Okay, I gotta shoot those. Those are suicides. So let's lose the assault rifle here. We're already dead. So it's more like just a machine gun. You have like a set amount of rounds. I think if you have increased level in it, you get more rounds in it, but it will always take like in level 3, it has a duration of 10 seconds. So if the 10 seconds are over and you still got bullets left, the gun will disappear. Also, I think so. Her Q and her or Q. Let's say first ability, her rocket, and third ability, they will have some more max range. So they will explode eventually if you shoot them in a long distance. Same goes for the Q. It will just go explode. I guess for her third ability, it's good if you kind of know where it will explode, because the pool will just fall on the ground then. So you can maybe use it. Get a good puddle right there. So with the passive stacking, I do notice, like, on normal, enemies die very quickly to even make use of the poison. I did do a operation, like a defense operation you can do when you completed an area. If you're on like half of the waves, the enemies are going to be really super strong and they will not die that fast. Then you can really see those stacks coming up if you have more enemies. Those operations are still quite hard to do, but you can see if you have more than stacks. It's easier to get stacks, I mean, if enemies don't die in one hit. And then you can actually make use of the passive. So yeah, that's really the showcase of the abilities. Obviously, you have to use it yourself to get like a little bit familiar with them, but that's how they are used. But guys, that wraps up this video on how to get Freyna and how her abilities work. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If it did, you could leave a like to support the video and comment down below if you have some questions. If you want more content like this one and to unlock more Descendants, you can subscribe to the channel for more. But I thank you for watching and I see you in the next one.